Hello, I'm coming to you once again from my office in the Rayburn House office building across the street from the Capitol. I've just come from the floor of the House where we've had some additional votes, and of course we're all trying to work to get the government fully back open as soon as possible. This is being referred to at the present time as a government shutdown, although as one member pointed out recently, it's more accurate to call it a government slowdown because most of the government is still at work. The Republicans in the House have voted 3 separate times to fund the entire government except for Obamacare. That's the one vote was to fund the entire government except for Obamacare. Another vote a day or so later was to fund the entire government but simply delay Obamacare for 1 year, and we did a third vote to fund the entire government but simply give individual citizens a 1 year delay on the so-called individual mandate. Over 1,000 groups or big businesses or unions have been given waivers or these 1 year delays, and we thought that the fairest thing to do was to give that to individual ordinary citizens as well also. But we haven't been able to do that because they have defeated it over in the Senate while it's passed in the House. The crux of the problem is really twofold. President Obama has a nice smile and seems to be a very likable man, but there's no question that he is the most far left president we have ever had, and certainly has the right to have very left-wing views, but make no mistake about it, he is the most left-wing president this nation has ever had, and that is part of the problem. And then, of course, the major part of the problem is that we're presently $17 trillion in debt, $17 trillion. And of course, that's a figure that nobody can humanly comprehend. And the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says we're going to go to $25 trillion in debt over the next 8 or 9 or 10 years. And so what that means is that we really can't afford the programs that we have now. And certainly it makes the situation much worse if we try to add on this new entitlement involving millions more people on into free medical care or close to it, almost free medical care system that's not there now. So the so-called Affordable Care Act, you can see, anybody who looks at this at all can see that it's an unaffordable care act. I hope that some agreement will be reached. It has disappointed me that the president thus far has refused to negotiate. In fact, I think in a couple of conversations with the Speaker of the House, his first words in the phone call have been, John, I'm not going to negotiate. If a Republican president had said that, he would be crucified or criticized to high heaven. But the national media has pretty much given President Obama a free pass on his refusal to negotiate or compromise or moderate his views in any way. I am pleased that finally he has agreed to at least meet with the congressional leadership, but of course meeting and negotiating are sometimes two different things. So I'm hopeful that that some resolution can be achieved, some compromise can be reached to open the government back up. I certainly sympathize with all the federal workers that have been laid off, but also on all the past 17 shutdowns that we've had since the late 70s, the federal workers that have been furloughed have always been brought back with back pay. So they basically have just been given paid vacations, which extra paid vacations, which obviously we can't afford with the financial condition of the federal government. And also these people, most of them anyway, want to work, and I want them to work. Right now, there doesn't appear to be a solution. And I know that it's frustrating for everybody, but I can tell you that everything looks easy from a distance. And we had, for most of the history of the 20th century, we had one-party control of the Congress. The Democrats controlled the Congress for 60 of 64 years, from 1930 till the mid-90s. With divided government, it does become more difficult to work some of these things out. But I'm hopeful that we can reach a resolution for the good of everyone. I always, in the past, in my entire time in Congress, I've spent slightly more time at home than I have here in Washington. I've tried to almost never miss a vote, but I also have felt like I need to be at home as much as possible because my constituents, almost every place I go, drugstores, ball games, civic clubs, churches, whatever, almost everybody seems to want to express an opinion or ask for help or both. And so I think my constituents, I think I serve my constituents better when I am at home in Tennessee, and of course that's where I've raised my family. So I'm hopeful that we can get back home before too much longer, and that we won't stay in the status we're in now for much longer. But we are trying to get the government open in a way that does not explode our debt and ruin the future of our children and grandchildren. And I'll have more to say about this later after I see if any progress is being made in hopefully negotiations between the Speaker and the President. Thank you.